They're everywhere. Perched on rooftops. Pecking crumbs from sidewalks. Fluttering through city skies. To most of us, pigeons are background noise, ordinary, dirty, and unremarkable. But what if we're wrong? What if these humble birds, shaped by centuries of life beside us, were actually preparing for something far greater? Could pigeons, the birds we ignore every day, one day become the dominant avian species on Earth? Let's imagine a world where pigeons rise from city streets to rule the skies. Pigeons. Before we dream of pigeon dominance, we need to understand who they really are. Pigeons, or more accurately rock doves, have been living alongside humans for thousands of years. Long before we had Wi-Fi or satellites, pigeons were our messengers. Ancient Persians and Egyptians used them to send coded notes across kingdoms. Even in World War I and II, pigeons saved lives by carrying vital military messages across enemy lines. One pigeon, named Sher Ami, even earned a Medal of Honor for delivering a message that saved nearly 200 soldiers, despite being shot through the chest and losing a leg. That's not just luck. That's resilience, intelligence, and loyalty. Modern studies show pigeons can recognize individual human faces, navigate complex routes across cities, and even distinguish between artistic styles. Yes, they can tell a Monet from a Picasso. They have exceptional spatial memory, the ability to detect magnetic fields, and can see ultraviolet light, a spectrum invisible to humans. So while we see them as rats with wings, the truth is, pigeons are already one of the most adaptable, intelligent, and successful bird species on Earth. Adaptation is the key to dominance. In nature, the species that thrives is the one that adapts fastest, not necessarily the strongest or smartest. And pigeons? They've mastered adaptation. Originally cliff dwellers, they've turned skyscrapers into artificial mountains. They drink from gutters, eat from our leftovers, and nest in every corner of human architecture. While many species are disappearing because of urbanization, pigeons have evolved with it. They've become perfectly tuned to our cities, fearless of crowds, immune to noise, and capable of surviving on almost any diet. Their breeding rate is extraordinary. A single pair can produce up to 8 chicks a year, year-round, as long as food is available. In cities, that means forever. They're not just surviving in human environments, they're thriving because of them. In many ways, pigeons are the perfect urban organism. Small, smart, sociable, and unstoppable. For pigeons to rise, other species must fall. And that's already happening. Climate change, deforestation, and pollution are erasing habitats worldwide. Songbirds are vanishing. Insect populations, the main food source for many birds, are collapsing. Predatory birds like hawks and eagles need vast territories and clean ecosystems. As those vanish, so do they. But pigeons? They don't need forests, rivers, or pristine skies. They live off our chaos. When storms devastate coasts or cities expand into wilderness, pigeons simply move in. They adapt faster than any predator or prey. If the current trajectory continues, hotter climates, more cities, less wilderness, the balance of power in the skies will shift. And the survivors will be pigeons. Dominance isn't just about survival, it's about intelligence. Pigeons already show signs of advanced cognition. They can recognize themselves in mirrors, a trait once thought unique to apes and dolphins. They understand abstract concepts like same and different. They can even be trained to detect cancer cells in medical images with remarkable accuracy. Now imagine a few million years of evolution. Without humans, cities would crumble, but pigeons would inherit our ruins. In a post-human world, pigeons might become the scavengers and then the engineers of a new avian order. Their intelligence could increase through natural selection. In cities full of challenges, finding shelter, navigating mazes of buildings, avoiding predators, smarter pigeons survive and reproduce. Over time, those traits could accumulate. Think about what domestication and selective breeding did for dogs in just tens of thousands of years. Now imagine evolution shaping pigeons for millions. Would they begin to use tools? Develop group strategies? Build more complex nests? Or even learn to manipulate simple objects? Perhaps one day, pigeons won't just live in our cities, they'll run them in their own way. Let's leap far into the future, 10,000, maybe 100,000 years ahead. Humanity is gone. The cities are ruins overgrown with vines. The earth is quieter, greener, but still inhabited. Among the crumbling skyscrapers, something moves. A flock of pigeons gathers, but they're not ordinary. Their plumage has evolved into shades of metallic blue and deep bronze, camouflage for the shifting light of the ruins. Their eyes are larger, tuned for navigation among thick vegetation. Their beaks are sharper, capable of breaking seeds, shells, even soft plastic. They communicate in complex coos and clicks, more structured than any songbird melody, almost language-like. Leaders emerge in the flocks. Colonies form across regions. They dominate the skies, pushing out smaller species. Predators still exist, hawks, snakes, perhaps even feral cats, but the pigeons have numbers, coordination, and intelligence on their side. They've learned to drop stones from above to defend their nests. Some even place sharp twigs around eggs to deter invaders. Over thousands of generations, natural selection favors innovation. The smartest, most cooperative pigeons survive. Civilization, not as we know it, but something alien and beautiful, begins to form. Let's ground this vision in science. Could pigeons really develop civilization, tools, architecture, culture? Short answer, it's unlikely in the near future, but not impossible in deep evolutionary time. The main obstacle is anatomy. Pigeons don't have hands. Manipulating objects the way primates do is difficult with beaks and feet. However, evolution is creative. Birds like crows and parrots already use tools, bending wires, dropping nuts onto roads for cars to crack, even using sticks to extract insects. If pigeons faced constant evolutionary pressure to solve problems, especially in complex post-human environments, their intelligence could advance dramatically. They might develop new ways of manipulating their world using beaks, wings, or coordinated teamwork. In evolutionary terms, dominance doesn't require technology. It means controlling the ecological narrative, dictating which species thrive and which fade. And by that measure, pigeons are already halfway there. Without us. Picture a world without people. Concrete towers crumble. Asphalt breaks into soil. Grass and trees reclaim the streets. But many cities remain towering skeletons for centuries, artificial cliffs for birds. In this new world, pigeons have a perfect home. They roost in hollow buildings. They drink from new rivers formed by broken pipes. They eat seeds carried by wind and animals. Over time, their bodies adapt, stronger wings for longer flights, sharper senses to detect predators, thicker feathers for changing climates. Competition is fierce, not just between pigeons and other birds, but within their own species. Some evolve to hunt insects and small vertebrates. Others become seed gatherers or scavengers. Subspecies diverge. The Columba genus splits into many new forms, each specialized for different habitats. In time, the city pigeon could become an entire empire of birds. This idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. After the dinosaurs went extinct, it wasn't the biggest or fiercest creatures that inherited the earth. It was the small, adaptable ones. From those survivors came the ancestors of modern birds and mammals. In the same way, if humanity disappeared, the survivors wouldn't be the majestic eagles or the fragile hummingbirds. It would be the adaptable pigeons, rats, and insects. Evolution always rewards flexibility, not grandeur. If we ran the simulation of life again, pigeons might very well emerge as the rulers of the skies. Pigeons are, in many ways, our reflection. They've followed us into every corner of civilization. They live off our waste, nest in our architecture, and adapt to our chaos. We engineered the world for ourselves, and pigeons simply learned to live in it better than anyone else. Perhaps, in some cosmic irony, when we're gone, they'll inherit the world we built. They'll evolve and thrive, gliding over the bones of skyscrapers and monuments that once belonged to us. Maybe, in a few million years, if some alien species visits Earth, they won't find traces of humanity. Only the soft cooing of the birds that replaced us. Let's summarize what science actually tells us about this pigeon empire hypothesis. Strengths and favor. Pigeons have massive global distribution. They thrive in almost every environment humans occupy. High reproductive rate ensures fast genetic evolution. Proven intelligence and memory capacity. Strong adaptability to pollution and climate extremes. Limitations. Lack of manipulative limbs, no hands equals limited tool use. Dependence on human environments for food in the short term. Limited ability to form large, coordinated social hierarchies compared to mammals. Yet evolution doesn't follow rules. It innovates under pressure. If climate change, urban decay, or human extinction forced pigeons into new roles, they could diversify rapidly. Within a few 100,000 years, we might see advanced avian societies, not technological like ours, but ecological, symbiotic, and efficient. Perhaps dominance doesn't require skyscrapers or machines. Perhaps true mastery means harmony with the planet, something pigeons, ironically, already understand better than we do. So, could pigeons become the dominant bird species on Earth? Yes, and in many ways they already are. They've colonized every continent. They've survived wars, cities, and centuries. They're intelligent, resilient, and endlessly adaptable. While humanity looks to the stars, pigeons quietly rule the skies we leave behind. Maybe the story of evolution isn't about the biggest or the bravest, but the quiet survivors, waiting patiently for their turn. When the last human voice fades and the wind whispers through empty streets, the sound that will still echo above the ruins will not be silence. It will be the gentle coo of pigeons, the next rulers of Earth's endless sky.